Very much. Thank you. So I was told this is kind of open mic comedy without jokes. But she was reaching out and have jokes. Okay, we're going to go on a journey, okay, about collaboration, about ideas, about innovation, especially in larger companies who've got issues around geography and scale and all that kind of stuff. Now, just a quick introduction. I work for a company. We help organizations build a competency and capability around innovation. And what that means, innovation is almost a meaningless word. It means growth, it means doing new stuff. But what it means for us is creating value faster than it's being destroyed. Okay, in every organization, value is being destroyed through competitive pressure, through products going out of cycle or whatever. And obviously companies focus on the value creation. Innovation is really about how do you speed that up? And how do you do it over time, which is where you get the competency, the muscle around innovation, and how do you do it within an ecosystem? You know, even big companies can't do this stuff by themselves. So that's one thing. The other thing around collaboration, I looked it up this morning. Collaboration, it comes from the Latin word collaboratus. It's a past participle, apparently, whatever that means, which means it means work together in new ways. Now, in today's world, technology can allow us to collaborate in many new and different ways. And one of our many things we do, we have a software platform that supports very large-scale collaboration with tens or hundreds of thousands of people. Now, many of you work in bigger companies, you've got kind of social tools, and you collaborate, and you do stuff. And our view is that that's not enough. You know, if you're working in a big company, you've got huge expertise around the company that you can't access. And collaboration doesn't solve the problem when you're doing kind of social tools. I'm not going to knock any of the big social players because they do have a role. But we do a lot of research around this as well. Now, if you imagine a big company and you've got a business problem, you want to improve customer service or reduce costs or whatever it might be, how do you engage people around that? Now, we can pretty much predict exactly what's going to happen. I mean, we work with, it's in many, many big companies around the world. So you need to define what the problem is. Why are you collaborating? What's the purpose for collaboration? You need to define who the audience is. It's not everybody. So, for example, if you're saying we want to improve customer service, that's not enough. Often the problem you start with isn't the problem that actually people want to engage around. You need to engage people in a way which is simple, compelling, and authentic. You need to engage in a way with people where they know the person who has the problem has the authority and the budget to implement the ideas that come out of this. I can't stress that enough. There's no point reaching out to your organisation saying, come with ideas for new products or new services, or whatever it might be, and nothing ever happens. There might be some great collaboration the first time you do that. The second time, there won't be any collaboration at all because people don't get feedback. It's a very social, very human-based activity. I really can't stress that enough. Don't think of large-scale collaboration as being impersonal or difficult or whatever. It drives incredible value in organizations. We know from experience that social collaboration has a very distinct pattern to it, irrespective of the scale at which you're doing. So, for example, we do lots of quantified research. We have a SaaS platform, we have huge amounts of data which we research. And if you look at an organization and you reach out to 1,000 people, we know that 5% of people in your target audience will contribute about 15% of your ideas. Okay, you get a few people who contribute a lot. You imagine a graph, people put up here, loads of stuff. Then you get this long tail of participation. It's a really skewed graph. Now, this is really important because it talks about behavior and personality styles. You get this long tail of occasional participants who engage once a month, once every 6 months, whatever. But cumulatively, they form 85% of your contributions. Now, that's really important because, well, it's not me going to do the work, you have to do some work now. Where does the value come from? Is it the people who regularly collaborate or the people who occasionally collaborate? What do you think, guys? Occasionally? Well, you're kind of right, but not for the right reasons. Actually, the good contributions are spread evenly through the whole distribution of all the ideas, but the volume's in the tail. Okay? So when you think about how you want to collaborate with people, want to engage people, you don't need to worry about the people who are going to do it anyway. You don't need to give them prizes, you don't need to give them rewards. What you need to do is engage with the occasional participants who come in from time to time and engage with them in a way which is authentic. You know, there's nothing, in our experience, there's nothing worse than trying to engage people around something which is not authentic. Saying, you know, we'll give you an iPad or we'll give you a prize or whatever. That may encourage them once. It doesn't encourage the underlying authentic behaviour you're trying to encourage with people. Because they're just doing it for the game. They're doing it for the prize, not for the underlying reason to collaborate. And that's the culture you want to engage. I'll give you some really good, interesting examples. We work with one of the big aerospace companies, and they had a tender that came in. Now, this company's got 100,000 employees, and this tender came in, and it was to do the conceptual design on a vehicle that can carry 8 people, fly 1,000 miles, go underwater, spend 3 days underwater, and get out again. Now, that's kind of mind-boggling stuff, okay? This is a really interesting problem. These guys had thousands and thousands of engineers. Now, they put this challenge out there to these guys, and they had 4 days to respond. It's in a bid. They had to get this stuff together. Within 4 days, they had thousands of contributions from people they'd never met, but within in their organisation, coming up with stuff they'd never thought about before. A lot of it went into the bid. The bid became much, much more compelling with content and ideas that they would never have got otherwise. Now that's a great example of engaging at scale. Doing this in an authentic way is really important, and engaging people in a way which motivates them in line with their personal values is really important. Another example, one of our customers is a big pharmaceutical company. They've got 10,000 people in R&D. Now, they run these things all the time about different issues, different topics. But once every 18 months, they run what we call a challenge, which is, please share your intractable problems. So you're an R&D guy, you're trying to do a synthesis on a compound, it's got toxic byproducts, you can't solve the problem. Now, if you can solve that problem, it's really commercially valuable. So, if you want to share it with us, and we can solve it, or we can't solve it, I should say, you get to work with a Nobel Prize-winning chemist. Now, you're an R&D guy, that's really interesting. Yeah, that's great on the CV. Now, in practice, what happens? You say, I've got this problem, blah, 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 and you've got 10,000 other colleagues looking at this, and they go, I can help you with that. Here's some research I've done, here's a paper I've written, have you seen this research? And in practice, a lot of these intractable problems are not intractable. The fact you've called it intractable to a researcher or an engineer really appeals to their personal motivation. I can solve that, I'm going to have some of this. And in reality, the ones that really are intractable and are really interesting are really valuable to solve. And so it creates a lot of social engagement, it creates a lot of interest, it creates a lot of motivation. So the point behind this is, if you can harness the audience, harness the crowd in an authentic way which is sustainable, you get people to come back time and time again, it can be incredibly powerful. And we've actually one of our big customers did some research around collaboration, innovation, and employee satisfaction. And they're able to show through their staff surveys that people who are engaged, and over time it takes longer, it can take 2, 3, 4 years to get people really engaged in a collaborative environment, they have higher employee satisfaction. Now that in itself is incredibly valuable because you get less staff turnover, more motivated employees. So it becomes a bit of a virtuous circle, but it's hard to do. If it was easy, you'd be doing it anyway. So just to summarise, and I've got a minute. If you want to engage people in a collaborative way at scale, be clear about what the problem is you're trying to solve. Okay? You can express it in a way which people can read in a web experience, because it's all done on the web. Have a sponsor who's prepared to invest and fund any ideas that come out of it as a consequence. Be clear in the world of ideas, what does a good idea look like? What are its characteristics? Is it innovative? Is it collaborative? Is it going to reduce costs? Whatever it might be. Be clear about that, because if you tell people the nature of the ideas you're looking for, you'll get better quality ideas. As an example, if you said to your employees that you're looking for ideas how to improve customer service. Yeah, okay, that's all right. But if you said to employees, looking for ideas to improve customer service, we can implement in less than 6 months that don't require changes to our IT systems, you'll get very specific, actionable ideas. Now, maybe in that context that's entirely appropriate, but and the last point is give recognition to people. Recognise people who have contributed, not just the people who create ideas, that's important, but the people who build and collaborate and take other ideas and make them better and better and better. Okay? And the last point I'll make, I was just telling Chuck, it's completely aside. On Saturday, I do a lot of work in our environmental stuff where I live locally. We've had a big donation from Highgrove, Prince Charles's house. They've given us a lot of wildflower seeds. So on Saturday, I'm off to receive the royal seed.